Now when you're ready.
Good to go?
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Town of Fall October 6th public hearing. The purpose of this public hearing, first to start with, is ordinance 20-21, an ordinance adopting the Fifth Amendment to a development agreement adopted by ordinance 2001-46 and thereafter amended by ordinance 2006, ordinance 2016-24, and ordinance 2019-17. I'll open this up for any public comment. Anything online, Brooke, or no comments? We'll go on to our second. Our second one is ordinance 2021-31, an ordinance to authorize the town manager to convey excess real property to facilitate the construction of sidewalks within the town described as Beaufort County Tax District 110, map 11, parcels 105A, approximately 407 feet on Old Shell Road. Any public comment on sidewalks? Sorry.
Thank you.
I just had to bring my mic in.
I'm over here wondering what's happening. Go ahead.
It's rare that I'm told I can't hear me. All right, we'll go on to the next one. Ordinance 20-21-32, an ordinance amending Chapter 2, Administrative Article 6, Boards, Committees, Commissions, Division 3, Redevelopment Commission of the Code of Ordinance for the Town of Port Royal, South Carolina, to update the membership terms and jurisdiction. Any public comment? We have one.
Good evening, council. Is it on?
Yes.
It's,
Doesn't sound like it's on, but,
it's on, yeah, it's on. It only goes to Facebook.
okay. I just have some questions.
Ms. Decker, can you give us 1 second?
Sure.
Let Councilman. Here. You get settled. Tough weather. Go ahead, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and council. Just some questions about the proposed changes to the redevelopment commission, which I haven't seen in its entirety. What assurances will be provided to the commission as to undue influence or interference? I'm speaking specifically about, for example, private meetings that took place between the mayor, town manager, and the former redevelopment chairwoman this past spring. On that same note, should the commission expect more of these types of back-channel emails about the commission between the mayor, town manager, and others? How does council propose protecting commission work product from being poached, as happened with the T-Mobile hometown grant? On that subject, I have a check that I want to ask myself. May I bring this up to the council?
Just want to make sure that you understand during public hearings, we don't answer questions or respond.
Oh,
We're
I'm
here to listen
aware of
to
that,
them.
but
Okay,
since
that's fine. That's fine. If you had
My
anything you
comment
wanted-
is in reference to
Okay.
this.
Okay, that, just wanted to make sure that,
Or just for copy for each of you. Just on that subject, I just gave you a copy of a check for $5,000 that was made up Pearl Cypress Wetlands. Does anyone on council remember approving this? There have been some legitimate questions raised as to why the town would make this payment to an organization to create a 501c3. And other questions having to do with that check is that have anything to do with this favoritism that's been extended to the wetlands nonprofit. So these are some questions I have that are relative to the proposed redesign of the commission. I think they're valid questions given what's gone on the last 7 or 8 months. And I would love to have answers prior to voting on the ordinance at the next meeting. And I think that's more than reasonable. Thank you.
thank you. Anybody else have any comments on ordinance 2021-32? Hearing none, nothing, no comments have come in. Motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Thank you. We're going to move directly into our October 13th workshop. And the first item of business is we have some re-elections and reappointments. Brooke?
We actually, everyone has agreed to serve another term.
Okay, can you go ahead and call off the name? I'll do it. So we have the Municipal Election Commission. Kathy Brown has agreed to return. Kathy, are you here? Masks make it interesting. Parks and Rec, Lynn Day. And Zoning Board of Appeals, Rose Bennett, have all agreed to return to those positions. So there's really not an interview for us to have. Council have any questions?
We're glad they've returned.
Glad they're willing to serve.
Absolutely.
So we'll be prepared to do those nominations next week. Next, we have a presentation of Band's Brew and Barbecue. Katie? Come forward.
Good evening. So, we are excited to be able to have Bands, Brews, and Barbecue this year. November is a new time of year for us, but we're excited to explore and to see if this is a good fit for the festival. By popular demand, we are moving the festival back to Paris Avenue. And one thing we are doing this year that is new is admission will be free. So everybody is invited to join us, and then they can purchase for the atmosphere and the entertainment. They can purchase tickets for the food tastings and beverages and things like that. So we are looking forward to partnering with the town again, as always, as well as our other partners and sponsors. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, just one question, one point. Generally, it's January, February? You moved it
February.
up? What was the reason, and it's fine, but what was the reason you moved it to November?
Well, COVID prevented us, we were following CDC guidelines and recommendations in February, so we did not have it then. And November is kind of ending the barbecue season, so we decided to shoot for fall.
Will you start off the barbecue season here in February, or is this kind of take the place of that, or?
It looks like this might take the place. We probably
Okay.
won't be able to turn around and do this again in 3 months, so
Okay.
looks like November's going to be it.
Okay, that's cool. And then secondly, if you need judges, you've got 5 right here that will volunteer, probably 6.
Right,
I
well,
have to say no because I don't eat meat. So
Oh.
it's difficult unless you want to make
I'll
something
eat
special
yours
for
for
me.
you.
There
So
you go.
plenty of
We got
people
it
willing to
covered
take
with
my
that.
place.
You
But
don't
Yeah.
have to eat
I
it,
can
just
do a
don't
smell
swallow.
test, I can lick my fingers, but, you know.
well,
You don't
Van
have
will
to
be
swallow.
keeper of the special packet, so of course you're welcome, but he holds the keys.
Yeah, just so that we can make sure everybody hears, we're talking about Bands, Brews, and Barbecue. Dates are November 12th and 13th, Paris Avenue.
Yes,
We'll make sure we get those dates out there. People
Yes.
know what we're talking about.
come on, come on.
Thank you
It's
for
a
doing
great
this.
event.
Very
All
good.
right.
Great event.
Thank
Council,
y'all.
questions, anything?
No,
Other
I'm
than we
just
welcome
excited.
you and we look forward to it.
Yes.
Okay, we'll see you there. Thank
Thank
y'all very
you.
much.
Thanks, man.
Thank you
Okay.
so
Bye-bye.
much. Next item of business is bicycle and pedestrian plan. Juliana, there you are.
Good evening, council members and mayor. How are you this evening?
Good, how are you?
Good, great. I'm doing well. A little wet. It's a little wet outside. All right, so, and I guess I'll just let you guys know when I need to get to the next slide. Great. So I am here to talk to you all about the Beaufort County Connects Bicycle and Pedestrian Plan 2021. It's a pretty straightforward title there. You're all probably aware. This is going to talk about our bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure. My name is Juliana Smith. I am the long-range planner at Beaufort County, so I'm representing Beaufort County this evening. And I replaced Noah. So this is his baby, and I'm just basically getting it out of the delivery room into the world. So that's what we're doing this evening. So the Beaufort County Connects plan is a plan that really seeks to create a comprehensive network of bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure throughout the county, so a regional plan, and spreading into Hardeeville and Jasper County. We did work with representatives from both of those jurisdictions as well. It was created by a task force that was comprised of not only bicycle and pedestrian advocacy groups like the Friends of the Spanish Moss Trail and Bike Walk Hilton Head and the East Coast Greenway, but also representatives from all of the municipalities within the county and, as I said, Jasper County and Hardeeville as well. And it sought to really lay out a proactive planning effort for our bike and ped infrastructure so that we can all collaboratively work towards those goals. And so that's why I'm bringing it before you tonight. It is hoped that each municipality that was involved in creating this plan will adopt it as either an appendix to or a supplement of their comprehensive plan. So that is the ultimate goal. Do you have a question? I see.
No, we're just working on it, so that's why
okay, great.
it works just perfect.
Great, good timing.
Yes, perfect timing.
So we'll go ahead to the next page. And you may be asking yourselves, well, why do we need to lay out a plan? Everybody wants bike ped infrastructure. Why does there need to be a plan for it? And we wanted to get something collaborative and comprehensive so that we can all reap the benefits of bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure. I think the most obvious benefit would be the health benefits, right? You get out and you bike and you walk, that means you're expending energy, you're working your muscles, you're getting healthy out there and exercising, but it's also good for our brains. And we can all look to last year and think about the times that some of us may have had cabin fever, and a really great way to treat that during the pandemic was to get outdoors. And so our existing infrastructure, our parks, and our bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure really helped people kind of treat those long isolating pandemic days. It also helps decrease our traffic. Oh, you can stay. It also, we'll go back. Spoiler alert. Okay. It also helps improve traffic situations. If we can get people to take short car trips and transfer them over to bicycle pedestrian infrastructure to walk or bike to the places that they need to get to, it reduces congestion, but it also reduces our carbon footprint. So it's a really great way of promoting environmental health as well. It keeps people safer too. If we've got people not on the roads biking or walking, especially if they're not comfortable doing it, but instead on infrastructure designed to accommodate them. It also will increase our sense of community and place. I know I've seen Mayor DeVito out on the Spanish Moss Trail, which helps me feel connected to my region by seeing him out there. You get introduced to your neighbors, you're not so isolated. And I think really two of the maybe lesser known or lesser realized benefits of bike ped infrastructure is that it really levels the playing field for folks who aren't relying on cars to get to where they need to go. So if you have a job and you can't get there by car for whatever reason, and you have access to get there by a bike ped facility, then that's really going to improve your economic well-being. So it's a great way to level that playing field for those of us who aren't relying on cars. I myself walk to work, so I know that I enjoy having them at my disposal there. But it also drives economic success. So obviously, getting you to work if you need to go to work in your economic hubs. But it supports tourism. Hilton Head is a really great example of a bike ped driven tourism industry. Many of the reviews that come back from Hilton Head talk about that bike ped infrastructure. They've got over 60 miles of public trails for folks to use. So you can go to Hilton Head, park your car, stay for a week, and never have to get back in that car to get to where you need to go. So that's a really special thing, and we want to spread that throughout the county. And it improves your property values. When you have these assets nearby that you can use and future homeowners can use, it helps improve your own economic wealth there as well. Now we can scoot. So throughout this process, there were three primary objectives. The first is pretty obvious. We want to improve connections to all of our places. So really importantly, we want to connect communities to jobs, as I've mentioned, schools, parks, your destinations, and adjacent communities, so you can get to friends without necessarily having to hop into a car as well. We also want to establish biking and walking as a more routine daily practice so that those who are interested but aren't quite out there have the support they need in order to walk and bike more often. And again, really enhance the quality of life and public health of our communities so that regardless of your economic status, wherever you come from, you have access to these facilities and can benefit from them. We'll scoot to the next one. So throughout this process, it kind of is a two-step process. So we had the task force who got together and started to identify needs in their communities and where they thought we need our bicycle pedestrian infrastructure and why we needed it. But then we took the idea out into the public with a survey. So there was a 1-month-long survey process, and almost 2,000 people responded, which I think really speaks to how important bike ped infrastructure is to our community at large. I think that's more comments than we got on our comprehensive planning process, so that's pretty impressive. And it was a 2-part survey. So first, folks could identify themselves how they feel about biking. You know, maybe they're really fearless bikers. Mayor DeVito, looking at you. Or maybe they're interested, but they're concerned. They don't quite feel comfortable on the facilities they know about, or they don't know how to get to them. And so we were able to really get a sense of what our community is made up of. And then the community also provided mapping where they think bike and ped paths can go. So they actually physically drew on a digital map where they think pathways should be. So we know what gaps are there and where there's a collective need. And then last but not least is the spine and spur approach. So if you think about a body, it's pretty straightforward. Your spine is going to be your primary artery of your bike pathway, and the spurs are the little branches coming off of it going to our destinations, going out into our communities. And that's how the comprehensive plotting of where the bike pathways go was built. And we'll see a map of that so you can kind of see what I mean when I say spine and spur approach. And Noah actually made that little diagram right there, which I think is really helpful. I just want to give him credit. Okay, we'll go to the next one. All right, so I know it's harder to see on computer screens. A printed version, these colors really pop. But on our left here, the existing and committed projects, this is what's already here in Beaufort County. Your dark purple are those committed improvements, the ones that we know aren't far from being done or have been thought about for a long time. So you do see pieces of the Spanish Moss Trail included in that. And then the lighter pink color are those existing pathways. And Hilton Head down there looks like a big pink shoe. So that's, you know that there's lots of a good network there that we'd like to expand upon. On our right side, this is the completed mapping network that we've come up with. And so you see a whole rainbow of colors, and that's because this plan breaks down each project by how long it's anticipated they will take. So green projects will take anywhere from 0 to 5 years to completion. Your yellow projects are from 6 to 10. 0 to 5, 6 to 10, and your red projects are 10 plus. So those are the ones that are going to take quite a bit more planning, a little bit longer to get done. And you can see really some of our really physically long projects are in that 10 plus year range. So when you're looking through the plan itself, you'll see cost estimates for getting it built. You'll see annual operation estimates, length of the proposed plans and projects, and how long we think it'll take to get to them. We can go ahead to the next one. We're going to zoom in here on Port Royal. And I recognize I cut off the part of Port Royal across the Broad River, but it's just the 170 corridor there that we are identifying as a part of the spine. So the spine network comes from all the way from the northern part of Beaufort County near the Combahee, and it sweeps down 21 all the way down 170. So that branch right there on 170 is a part of the spine network. It also sweeps out to Hunting Island. And so there's two ways you get to it. You've got your Ladies Island Drive, your bridge, which is yellow right there. And then you could get to it through Beaufort. So those are the pieces of the spine. The Spanish Moss Trail is a part of the spine. Those are pieces of the spine that we have here around Port Royal. But some of the really exciting projects we see here, we've got bike ped facilities in the Shell Point neighborhood, connecting them across Battery Creek to the Spanish Moss Trail, to the Sands eventually, to downtown Port Royal. And you've also got this great connection from Ladies Island Drive, which I think is really necessary. I see people here a lot walking and biking on the dirt right there, down to the Port Royal Elementary School, but passing by the park and the farmers market, and then a little connection to the Cypress Wetlands and right there at the Y, which is a really nice feature to have. And then a connection through Waddell out to the Spanish Moss Trail and connecting our communities there as well to the Spanish Moss Trail. 21 is a big one. There's some going on over there at Broad River Boulevard and Castle Rock Road. And that actually connects out to Joe Frazier and into even more facilities. And if you all are interested in seeing closer maps of other areas, let me know. I will send them to you. But this is the plan here for Port Royal. And I wasn't a part of the why some of these got chosen, so if you have those questions, I'll defer to Noah, because he was a big part of that. But we'll go ahead and scoot to our one of our last slides here. So funding sources. In addition to identifying our projects and why we need them and how long they might take, we've identified funding sources. In total, the plan points out 139 miles of possible bicycle and pedestrian networks all throughout the county. That could cost approximately $84 million. So we're going to have to get creative and use a bunch of different pots of money to achieve this. And so there's a list there. You've got federal discretionary funds, CDBGs, sales tax funds, all kinds of things to help fund these projects over the next 10 to 20 years. And we can go to the next slide. And in addition, we identified policies that will help us get there. At the very back of this plan is an implementation matrix, so the person who's responsible for helping to get this done can keep track of what they're doing. The four most, I won't go through all of these, the four most important policies are having all of our participating municipalities adopt this as a supplement or appendix to the comprehensive plan, which you all are learning about tonight. Bluffton has already adopted a resolution. Hilton Head will be hearing the first consideration later this month, and the Beaufort County is working through it, and I've got everybody else on a schedule to do it. We also have Beaufort County creating a staff position to help manage this plan so that it doesn't disappear on a shelf somewhere. We want to make sure that it continues to thrive and really see these pathways come to life. I think one of the really important ones is considering the reimposition of a 1% capital project sales tax on the 2022 ballot to continue to help fund these things. There's been a handful of projects that have already been funded this way, and we'd like to see that keep happening. And then coordinate with the LATS long-range transportation update, which is already happening, so it's great that two of the four are already in progress. And then we'll go ahead and scoot to the last. This is questions. Before questions, I just want to say one of the reasons this is serendipitous that this plan is so important, is so timely, is that this past February, the Director of South Carolina Department of Transportation released a memo that said that moving forward, SCDOT is going to consider and prioritize local plans in all future transportation projects. So a plan like this is really great that we can get bike and ped infrastructure included on the front end of these projects instead of trying to squeeze them in later on that back end. So this is exciting, and if all of us are adopting it, it will really reinforce the regional needs and desires to have these bike ped plans. And so with that, I'll turn it over to you all.
Council.
Well, I have no questions, but I was fortunate to have been present during your presentation before So Local.
Yes.
So, and of course, I was happy then because, of course, you know, our efforts in trying to bring this to fruition. So thank you for your lead
Thank you.
on this as well. I know you have some big shoes to fill, but thank you.
Yes, you do.
I know it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, and I think that was a great presentation, and Noah, thank you for being such a great part in that. I think it's something our community needs, and I think that's something that we really need to look at. So, moving forward, let us know what we can do to help.
Great. I'll be back
Right.
next week.
Yeah, quick question. Yeah, I saw on the map, it looked like, it said some of the areas were already committed
Yes.
to. Does that mean those funds are already there, ready, and?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
It just means that there are groups kind of moving towards that end. So the
Okay.
Spanish Watch Trail ends are on there.
And that's kind of what I was talking about, because that was committed.
Yeah, so you've got groups who are really, really working towards
Okay,
that. So
gotcha.
It's a great question.
Couple of things, obviously. This one is close to me, and I wish I was sitting on the other committee, but I couldn't sit on that one at the time. Noah, first of all, you are not interested in the job that they talked about to manage this plan? Just, okay, just, you know, we don't need this bouncing back and forth on this plan. So, Juliana, you got this. So, that's great. And I think the other thing we need to highlight is also what SCDOT has done recently, which is the memo to accommodate bike and pedestrians in all future road paving, and also a memo to engineering saying that complete streets also need to be accommodated as road design happens. Both of them happened this year too. So it's really finally coming out completely that what's been done in a few cities and towns around South Carolina are important to all of South Carolina. And that's why I think this is a great time to have this in place. I think this council is more than willing to move this thing forward. We've got a little bit of logistics to work out because our comp plan is happening, but we'll have something next week that I think this council will be able to support so that we can get you what you need. And I look forward to this, every mile being put down to allow this connectivity. This is a big plan. It's a long way to go, but we look forward to it.
I
So,
agree.
thank
And
you.
our engineering department has picked it up. They're really excited
Right.
about it too. So.
And Noah, you're giving us the thumbs up that we need to go forward with this?
I would
Yes. Okay, just, gotta hear from our planning director. We don't want to do anything that he doesn't approve of.
All right, thank
We-
you.
Thank you, Juliana. Next, Noah, you're up. We have our comprehensive plan update.
So this fell right in place for you, Noah.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, it's great timing.
Thank you. I'm not going to really present the major changes or anything that are coming from the comp plan tonight because it is going back to Planning Commission on October 18th. They would like to hear from the consultant as well since I was not on the front end of the planning process. So today I just wanted to give you a very brief update on where it's at. I did present to them major changes in the comprehensive plan, namely just for your education tonight, there is an additional element that is required by the state planning legislation. So resilience is a new element in comprehensive plans that is required. So you'll see a lot of that coming when we bring it to council next month, hopefully to council next month. That will be kind of interwoven everywhere. So you're not going to see a comprehensive plan that is, here's the land use element, here's the housing element, here's the transportation element. You will see themes, and you will see elements woven through those themes and indications of which elements are included in which chapter at the beginning of each section. So it's a little bit of a difference, it's a kind of a shake-up in the normal comprehensive planning approach, but it reads well. It's very strategy-oriented. You know, there are actions involved. There's an implementation matrix. There is, you'll see a cut down on the bulk of information, but it still gets to the same end in our minds. So October 18th, that will go to Planning Commission. If we get a recommendation to move to you all, you will see it in November. And that's what I have for you now. If you have any questions about the process until that November council meeting now, I'd be happy to answer.
Council, obviously final draft as soon as we can get it, because obviously
Yep.
I'm going to take time to read that document.
Sure. That will be here, should be in my hands next week, if not the end of this week, and I'd be happy to distribute it right then.
Great.
Yeah, I think it'd be great to get it as early as possible so we can start
Okay, as
reading
soon as
it.
I have it, I'll send it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
Anything else?
No.
No, thank you so much. Van, council briefing?
Sure. We'll start off with some project, Walpole Gravity Sewer, CDBG. We have gotten through environmental clearance, if you will, so we are forwarding those permits to DHEC for final approval. We talked about last month the necessity of maybe taking over ownership of the roads to accommodate the project. The consensus I got from council is that's what we wanted to pursue, and so I've instructed Michael to move forward with that process with the DOT, because there's a whole other process we need to go through to take ownership of those roads. And I think we're contemplating maybe some additional sections to kind of close some loops. They'll give us a little bit more flexibility in addressing some of the redevelopment in that area. 1013 11th Street. I know that if several of you site visited that and took a look at what the drainage was doing there. I think we may modify the scope somewhat and take out that section of sidewalk and regrade it so that we can run that water, which is accumulating there now, kind of bowled in and get it to the box that's at the corner of the alleyway there. A little bit of regrading may change the scope. We talked about combining this project with the preserved wetland, which ties into Cypress. I had Dean come from Folk Land Management, take a look at it. We identified where the pipe was blocked, if you will, for the Cypress, so we're going to get in with some chainsaws and clean all that out. Asked Jeff to take a look at it, see if that's something we could do in-house or if we needed to bring another group in, so he's doing that. Paris Avenue Streetscape, CDBG, also gotten through environmental clearance there, so we're moving forward. The irrigation plan, which we needed, we've got now included, and he'll be pulling that whole entire package together. Now we can put some schematics together so you guys can take a look at it. Kind of dovetailing off that, the Dominion streetlight switch out to the LED fixtures is scheduled for this month, so we're looking forward to that. I did include in your, just for general information in your packets, kind of a map of where the existing lights were. There was another attachment that Michael sent me I could not open, but I'll forward it to you that kind of will give you an idea of what the impact of the new lights will do from a visual standpoint. Sands Beach, no real discussions. I know it's going to move through the county process now as to how ongoing maintenance will be handled. Obviously, we need to sit down with Grego / Safe Harbor and talk about those issues. And then I had Sean do an installation of the oyster warning signs, which you'll probably see out there. So pretty happy about that. Let's see, what else we have. Spanish Moss Trail, I have a meeting later this week with Dean Moss to discuss the final kind of design crossing process, kind of see where it stands, we just need to get together and so I can give you guys a better update of where that stands.
Ben, on that one, I've reached out again this week for that meeting with SCDOT on that same subject, still struggling to get a hold of DOT to get a meeting set up with Christie Hall so that we can talk about that.
Right.
But I'm trying.
And I do have Whit here. I don't know if you want to, if you want to give him an update, or council ask any questions. Excuse me.
No, we're good.
Whit, you got anything?
You're off the hook.
All right, good. Excuse me.
You okay?
Shrimp facility, yeah, so some lumpy water. Ice machine, we did get it moved, it's in place. And then we had a freon leak, so we've been dealing with that for the last week or so trying to get the ice machine squared away. We're going to move forward with removing 2 of the boats that are at the dock now. We had a power issue last week, and where 2 of the boats were taking on water. And so one of the boats has basically been abandoned. That's the Little Joe that's on the outside on this end of the dock. The owner's in Guyana. We can't track him down, so I've instructed our folks to go ahead and get it removed. The second boat, we have been working with the owner of that boat who's willing to sign that over so we can get it yanked out. They're a heck of a lot less expensive to get out of the water while they're still above water. So, and did get money through the state budget process. Thank you, Senator Davis, some of the others, to do some work on those docks. So we need to get those boats relocated or removed so that we can start that. Traffic and road projects, you probably saw Jeff and his guys out doing the speed bump installation on West Paris Avenue with the accompanying signs that go with it. Provided y'all a separate memo which covered some of the other traffic control that we're going to do in the few weeks on the roads that we actually own. So there'll be some 3- and 4-way stops and probably some additional speed bumps installed. So please review that memo and let me know if there's anything else you'd like to add. Porter's Chapel, we are trying to make contact with the foundation so we can get something scheduled. I did speak with Shannon Erickson today, and she's going to make an effort to reach out to maybe bring us together so we can nail down a date. November 6th may be difficult, to be quite honest with you, because of that communication. Hopefully, if we can reach out and see if that's a date that works for the family, then we will do that. But if it does not work for the family, I assume y'all would like to reschedule it so that we can make sure they're there.
I believe that's the sentiment of council, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Local office sales tax educational effort called Boost has been started. There'll be some links for you guys to take a look at. I know that the calculator was supposed to go live so people could enter in the value of their property and figure out what the impact. Recovery Act, or ARPA, we did receive our first installment, about $2.7 million, and I've covered under a separate memo some of my recommendations as to how that money should be spent. Obviously, the parameters have been established by the feds as to what those, how that money can be spent. So I need y'all to take a look at that and maybe provide some feedback next week so we can make some decisions. All right. And one of the things that we did see was that roads that need improvement or replacement as part of stormwater drainage or water and sewer projects are eligible to be funded. Keep that in mind. 16th Street Extension, we've dealt with that. Naval Hospital sidewalk, I did reach out to Megan with SCDOT to see if she heard anything additional from the Department of Navy, and she reached out again and has got nothing. I confirmed back with them, and we've been working on it. 16. So hopefully one day we'll get that sidewalk built. So, Shell Point Drainage, we are participating in the task force with the county and the residents in the area. They've identified a scope of work for a number of projects to address the issues that they're having. Based upon the study and the additional input provided by the staff as well as the residents, we'll refine the scope of those projects and then hopefully get some of that done. A lot of it is maintenance that needs to be done by roadside ditches, and some regrading and some other small projects. We're hoping we'll be able to work with DOT on getting some of that scheduled. So, FOI submittals, y'all see that. Y'all asked for a monthly report on that. There's your update. Cypress wetlands, you probably see we're drawing that down right now to accommodate the installation of the water control structure. So that's probably you've seen some of the birds that have migrated to this end. It's because the water levels are dropping and they can actually fish those areas. Until after mating season is over, so we'll do the installation. So hopefully it'll happen next month. We can pull boards that drop down. This rain certainly doesn't help. So the sooner we get the water out, we'll be able to do that. The Drid Pond, that work is scheduled to start mid-October. Getting the electrician, it took about 6 weeks to get the electrician scheduled to do this work. So we're excited about that. Duck line also, we did get it treated again by Solitude. The algae that was accumulating in there was fouling the aerator. So they want us to keep it running, and we'll keep treating it until we get that issue resolved. Roof repairs, couple buildings, this one, we checked in some of our offices, we're having some issues. With the first $1,000 to repair the roof, so we're getting a couple more. That's basically a new roof. So that's why we're getting a couple more bids. And then the second is to the rear building at the behind the shed, and there's some work that needs to be done there. You know, if it's direct rain, it's fine. When it's wind-driven rain, that's when it causes issues. So, and then last but not least, we have hired a replacement for Brooke. We all know that Brooke's taking on different responsibilities, and we'll introduce her at the council meeting next week.
Great.
Okay, cool.
Brooke's not leaving,
Nope,
just taking on different roles.
that's right.
Council, any questions about any of the updates that was given to us? Yes, everybody's good?
No questions in regards to that, but I noticed that, I guess we have a truck back up and running?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I saw quite an improvement.
Yes, we are excited about that.
Thanks to
The other
the
one
guys,
is still warranted and still waiting on parts. I mean, that's the biggest challenge for a lot of people right now is getting the parts. The city did work with us and loaned us a truck for a couple of weeks so that we could kind of keep moving some of that forward.
We thank the city of Beaufort for the use of their spare, extra old truck, but it helped us out.
That's
Got the
right.
job done.
It helped us out, it helped us get the job done. All right, next item of business is reviewing our council agenda for next week. Everybody should have that in front of you. Obviously, the beginning is everything normal. We do have, there are no presentations next week scheduled?
No, sir.
Okay. We have second reading on ordinance 2021-29, which is the business license ordinance. Does anybody have any questions, and do we need to discuss that?
No, I haven't had a chance to review
Okay.
it.
If anybody wants to see any of the detail on that, just meet with Brooke, get a hold of her. She can go over the details on the changes, the dollar value changes for anybody.
And just real quickly to cover, you know, for those that might not know, it's an attempt to standardize the process across the state to make it a little easier for renewals, so that we standardize the dates of renewal across the state, that we standardize the classification of businesses. So if you own a business that has multiple business licenses across several jurisdictions, there's a level of predictability that you can find, as well as the creation of a portal that will allow folks to renew from home or from their office, so they don't have to jump from office to office to office to office. And this is a compromise bill that the Municipal Association worked out with the state legislature. Tom, you got anything you want to add to that?
So, real quick, because I do think the standardization part's great and really smart. Anytime you can make anything more efficient, but with, as I understand it, some business license taxes will be going up.
Yes.
And is that to pay for this new system? Is that what the intended cost is for, or?
No, because the way the classifications are set up, they're based upon profitability, and that's why they're reshuffled from every so often, depending on what the margins are for the type of businesses. And so the classifications are based upon that.
Okay.
But the legislation is also crafted in such a way that there's no windfall. So if there's any significant change to what we collect, either negative or positive, that it's not over the top. I can't remember the exact percentages, but if we were collecting $500,000, we couldn't go to $1 million.
Yeah.
Or even 600,000.
It's in
Yeah,
1%.
within 1%.
Within 1%,
Yeah.
right, Brooke? 1%?
Yeah.
But I think, didn't the gentleman said we were pretty close, because we'd been following it all along and trying to get
Correct.
to, and so we were pretty much online, and I think there were only like 13 that would be increased.
Correct.
Correct.
And then there were some that was gonna be decreased based on that calculation too, so that's good. So thank you.
You had both Councilman Phillips and Mary Beth introed into my question. I thought at the last meeting that we had also, those people that were going to be impacted by this change, were they notified, or have they been notified already?
We have not passed anything, so there's no notification.
Okay,
to
because
go
it
out.
has not been passed, okay.
But that is, there's 7 steps.
Yes.
Of this process, and that is the final.
Piece of it.
And,
Notified.
right, and the other thing is, any business they have anywhere in the state of South Carolina,
Will.
in any municipality, they're gonna be hearing about it from them as well. So it's not, it's not just Port Royal, it's everybody doing this by the end of the year. So they'll be hearing across from everybody. Anything else? Next is I think I moved the page too early, the Fifth Amendment. So ordinance 2021-30, this is the Fifth Amendment. We've seen that already, we've had a public hearing, we've had a presentation. Any questions? I think a representative of the applicant is here. Do you have anything you need to add, or is everything still the same?
Just as a reminder, meeting, I had left out the words adjacent to 170, and those have been added in. Those are the only changes.
Very good. Council, good? Okay. Is ordinance 1-31, which is a sidewalk ordinance for parcels 105, 407 feet on Old Shell Road. Any questions? Can you show that real quick? There we go. There it is. All right. Council has no questions, then it's ordinance 2021-32, again, a second reading, which is the change to the redevelopment commission code. Any questions or discussion on that? Everybody's good. Now we have some first readings next week.
Well, we went down to 5, is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
that's the current, yes. We have first reading ordinance, well, Van, why don't you go ahead and do the first readings for next week?
Yeah, first readings is ordinance 2021-33, an ordinance to authorize town manager to convey excess real property to facilitate construction of sidewalks within the town described as Beaufort County Tax District 110, map 10, parcel 113. This is 100 feet on 15th Street. If you give me a second, I'll pull it up real quick.
Can you steer and read at the same time? Sorry.
Exactly. But the request is in compliance with the sidewalk construction policy that was passed basically 15, 20 years ago. We would be adding on to an existing sidewalk. So that's why it's in compliance, and obviously because it's 100 feet in length, it would also be in compliance.
Very
And
good.
there it is right there.
Questions, anybody?
No, sir.
Okay.
All right, ordinance 2021-34, an ordinance to authorize the town manager to convey excess real property to facilitate construction of sidewalks within the town described as Beaufort County Tax District 110, map 10, parcels 384, 370, 369, 368, and 158. This is, give me one second, it's 150 feet located on 12th Street.
Well, this is the 3 empty lots, 4 empty lots.
And there we go. This is Paris Avenue. That's 12th.
Very good. And the property jog we're seeing, once you get to 1012, is where we've already conveyed.
Correct.
Right, so that would this is gonna bring that line further down. Very good.
Right, exactly, yes.
Yep.
All right, and then ordinance 2021-35, an ordinance to rezone approximately 5.18 acres of real estate located in Beaufort County described as Beaufort County Tax District 110, map 9, parcel 180 in Beaufort County, South Carolina, to be rezoned from T4 Neighborhood Center to T4 Neighborhood Center Open. The Metro Planning Commission did not recommend the request. However, the applicant wasn't able to attend. It was a snafu on our part in terms of their attendance to make their case for their request. We do have a representative of the applicant here that can answer any questions. Let me pull that ordinance up, Nathan,
Yeah,
real quick.
I think that's appropriate that we hear from the applicant's planning commission didn't get the opportunity to. Please come forward.
Thank you, members of council. Tom Davis, representing the owner of the real property, which is situated at 1251 Ladies Island Drive. You're probably familiar with the property, but if you're coming from Ladies Island over the Bell Bridge, you know, as soon as you come on onto the land, you look to the right, you can see the Port Royal Landing residential community, and on the left, the very first thing you see is the River Wind development. And then continuing further down on the same side of the road, on the left there, is the River Oaks Assisted Living Facility. That's the problem, that's the area that we're talking about, that particular piece of property. The use there currently, or it was until just recently, a non-conforming grandfathered use. It was a senior living facility, which my understanding is not permitted in a T4 NC zone, but since it was an existing senior assisted living facility prior to the imposition of that zoning, it was a grandfathered use, and so that's fine. The owner now, however, has entered into a contract to sell the real property to a third party, and the third party intends to convert that particular building into a DHEC licensed behavioral health facility. That also fits within the definition of a community residence. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, the reality is, though, that that is a non-conforming use. It was fine so long as it was a senior assisted living facility, because that's grandfathered. This use is changing, so it would not be grandfathered. So that's the reason, the underlying reason for the request that it be rezoned from NC to NC open. Because in NC open, community residences are permitted uses. And so this is a condition to the contract that the proposed use by the third party be something that's authorized. Obviously, it's not going to be a grandfathered use because it's a new use. In terms of the argument that I would make in favor of the rezoning, it's contiguous to an existing NC open zone. If you continue on past the River Wind facility, the River Oaks Assisted Living Facility, and then you look on your left, continuing on Ladies Island Drive, you get to an NC open zone. This area right here. So it's contiguous to an existing NC open zone. And I understand from the prior discussions that there were some concerns that a rezoning would result in more traffic coming in and out of that property. And I know that's a concern because people coming off the Bell Bridge are coming fast, and you don't necessarily want to have more traffic or more cars coming out there. The point I would make is that the property is developed, the facility is there. It's not going to be raised for a gas station or anything of that nature. So, but that's why we're here. We're here because the grandfathered use is about to be discontinued. The property is about to be sold to a third party. They want to have but they also want to have a community residence, but it's for a different type of community residence, so it wouldn't qualify under the current grandfathering, hence the request for rezoning. And so I'm happy to answer any questions that you all might have. I would also note that the property is surrounded on the south by the military zoning, on the north by residential. I don't think there's going to be a danger of sort of a domino effect with other NC open requests coming along because of those existing zonings and existing uses. So I'm happy to answer any questions that council may have.
Where's the dentist office? Isn't there a dentist office in there somewhere?
No,
No, am I wrong?
I drove in there today, and it was raining pretty hard, but as you drive in here, and you kind of drive around, I think there's a dentist's office like right in
Yeah.
right there,
On the other property.
implant office or something like that.
on the other piece of property.
So it's like right
Yeah.
behind. or to
Which,
the side of that.
but again, it was raining hard, but I did see a dental facility in there.
There is one.
Yeah, and the current building that's there, that was the assisted living for seniors, is now vacant, is discontinued. And the property is under contract, and again, contingency is that the DHEC licensed community residence use be something that's authorized by the zoning.
Isn't there also a DHEC building back there?
1235 is the.
Yeah, back in the back.
There's woods back in there too, and I don't know.
So that you said this went before MPC?
It did not,
Not.
It did
due to
not.
a notification error on.
Okay, so they haven't even seen this yet?
The NPC, so the issue is now, we can take it ourselves. We have to do 2 readings, so there's, in my mind, there's a hybrid. We could hold off first reading next week, and if we feel like moving it along, and then it could still go before the NPC before our second reading, and we can get their endorsement either way in that way. I think that
That's fine.
doesn't hurt the timeline in any way, and it allows us to kind of meet our procedures of, we'd like the NPC to take a look at it. That's a thought that I have. Van, Noah, will that work for you, for staff and everybody?
Yeah.
And the NPC?
Yeah, so the planning commission heard my report. They did not hear from the applicant because of an error on my part. I did my best to convey the applicant's intent with the property. And they do not need to hear this again for you all to act on it. If that's something you'd like to do, send it back to them. It would affect your time, or it would not affect your timeline. They would get to hear it. They could change the recommendation, but you could still proceed as the mayor.
As long as we do something next, as long as we
Correct.
passed it on first reading next week.
Yes, you can
So,
still
right.
take action.
Then we
You
can
can still
hold
hear.
for second reading, and we'll have an MPC ruling in front of us for second reading.
Correct.
And that meets the timeline of the applicant. We understand we made an error here, so I'm trying to find a way to, and council's thoughts?
Yeah,
you know?
if the MPC's major concern was they didn't get to speak to the applicant, I would hate for that to be the reason.
Right,
Just a little
right.
snafu be the reason it gets held up, so.
And I've got the traffic statement, I really do. This is one of those ones, Van, if you can bring the road into the picture a little bit more. I've got the traffic statement. You know, we've asked for this speed to be dropped. We've asked for the speed limit on the bridge to be dropped. I mean, it's 55 and it slams to 45 at the bottom. And guys, honestly, in some ways, the only way you're gonna get that speed drop is if you have the cars to justify it. Because that's what DOT keeps saying, that the current speed works. And you almost, and we all know that the citizens across the street would really like that speed dropped.
Absolutely.
So we've got to be cautious on that. We understand, but I don't see that what we're talking about is going to be a major change in traffic or not in that aspect, so.
Yeah, I can
Noah?
add that, the concern there was, yes, this zoning opens up the possibility of redevelopment for other uses. And we can't solely rely on the intent of the applicant for what happens in the future, obviously. But the facility exists, the traffic has been what the traffic has been. The access management at that section of that road, it will not create some terrible major accident-prone area based on the change in use is hardly even a change in use. It's more so that it comes into conformity with the new code that the assisted living
Right,
facility
it's been used, that use has been there for years as a
Correct.
grandfather.
You
so-
could probably argue that it was a miszoning when the new zoning was
Well,
adopted.
I don't think we should penalize the property owner because we failed to
Right.
not comply and do the right thing. So, I mean, getting it on the books, first reading, I think that's appropriate.
So we'll keep it on our agenda for next week. Noah, we'll let you
Go
bring it
back.
back before, and the applicant, please be willing to come to the MPC and fill them in on that, and then we'll handle it again with second reading in November.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. So that's the end of our first readings. Dan, for next month, right?
Correct. And just have some council action items.
Which are basically appointments or reappointments to a few boards.
Right, which we've already talked about the names of Municipal Election Commission is Kathy Brown, Fox Breck, Lynn Day, and Zoning Board of Appeals, Rose Bennett.
Correct.
Will be the three there.
Some important dates and information, going back to the workshop agenda, you'll see Saturday, October 9th, from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. is the Low Country J.C.'s Beaufort Food Truck Festival, hosted in Port Royal.
In Port Royal.
In Port Royal.
Yeah. Tuesday, October 12th at 6:30 p.m. is the Parks and Recreation Commission. Wednesday, October 13th is our regular council meeting. Then on Saturday, November 6th, which is tentative, and we'll work on that, is the potential ribbon cutting for the Pinckney Porter's Chapel. And then Friday and Saturday, November 12th and 13th, is the Bands, Brews, and Barbecue, which y'all heard a little bit about tonight.
All right, I have two public comments. I can't read the last name. Doug? Come on, come forward.
We're together.
Okay. Phil?
Montanaro and Debbie.
Phil, Debbie, and Doug. We got a three-person band. Let's go.
Okay, we've got some things that you would need to look at, and I'll try to make this as brief as possible. My husband and I are here today because we have an unresolved problem. In the past, we've spoken with the Port Royal administrator and the appropriate person at the Port Royal Police Department and received no answer to our problem. We reside at 75 Scipio Road. Doug Anderson, a neighbor, is also here with us. Our problem is with our next-door neighbor, Ogden Lazaby, who resides at 61 Scipio Road. I'll give you a little bit of background on our situation so you'll understand. Mark Rabin, the previous owner of our property, lost it to the bank. We then bought the house in May 2014. When he moved out, he left 3 deteriorated storage buildings and a rotting semi-trailer on Ogden's property just outside our gate. As you drive up to our gate, that's what you see. It took us 4 years, but Mark finally moved them only because he was ordered to do so by the town. Things were fine until Mark moved into Ogden's garage apartment. Along with him came 7 boats, numerous trailers, 2 junk automobiles, and a jet ski, which he placed by our gate and next to our gazebo. Later, he put up an unsightly tent and filled it with junk. We attempted to resolve this by speaking to his landlord, Ogden, but to no avail. Ogden saw no problem with the junk jam next to our property and did nothing. And we have pictures that will show this. As you can see from the condition of Ogden's house, Mark's junk would not bother him. Yeah, and they're different ones. Yes, yes, so you can get an idea of what we're dealing with. None of the boats run. Some are filled with weeds and broken glass. And as you can see in the pictures, a lot of the trailers, the boat trailers even have flat tires. Please reference Ordinance 10.5, number 8, which addresses health hazards. And we've given you that ordinance. I typed it up. Mark got rid of one of the junk cars, but the other one has been sitting there for about 3 years. I've spoken and texted the appropriate person at the police department several times, but nothing has been done. As you can see from the pictures, this vehicle is an absolute eyesore. It's got flat tires, it has busted windows. Please reference Ordinance 19.6B, which addresses this problem. Ogden's yard has only been mowed twice this summer, and only after we complained. We have killed numerous snakes, some poisonous. We killed a cottonmouth, which we've never seen one on our property before, cottonhead. Copperhead, sorry, and have experienced problems with rodents and palmetto bugs due to the tall grass. Over a period of time, Mark got rid of 2 of the boats, but now we're down to 5 boats, a junk automobile, a jet ski that doesn't work, a trailer pile with junk, and the tent. We were told at the town hall that a tent's only a temporary structure. Well, this temporary structure's been there over 3 years, and now he has an ugly tarp on top of it, because I guess it started leaking. And to add insult to injury, Mark no longer even lives in that apartment. His son and his girlfriend do. My husband and I are older, and we don't need this aggravation. We work hard to maintain our place, as you can see from the picture, our house. And we live in a nice neighborhood, and we have to look at Mark's unsightly junk day in and day out. In conclusion, we are asking for your help to get rid of the tent, automobile, jet ski, trailer filled with junk, and the boats. And in addition, it would be nice if Ogden is informed that he has to keep his grass cut. Because like I said, twice, y'all, it got up this high. I mean, it's ridiculous. We are asking that you enforce the Port Royal ordinances that apply in our situation. Thank you for giving us time to make our appeal. And Doug, do you have anything you want to say? He lives just down the street from us.
We have small children in the neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
I live at 54 Scipio Road, and I'd hate to see any small children get hurt in this area with this debris laying around, tall grass, trailers, and whatnot. I second thank you for letting them know this situation.
Doug, you said you were 54?
Yes.
The one sketch there shows where all the junk is in front. You can see that's where you just.
As you drive up, here's our gate, here's all this junk. As you drive, and I know he does it just, it's kind of, I think it's a vendetta against us because we bought the house. We have a nice gazebo that you see as you drive up back to the left. He has 2 huge boats parked trying to hide the gazebo. And when we're in our gazebo and we look out, you can see a picture. That's what
You can see them right there.
None of these vehicles are licensed, none of these trailers are licensed, and the owner of these vehicles and trailers and motor vehicles isn't even on the property. There's 3 things right there.
Well, we appreciate you coming forward and bringing it to us. We'll obviously get the staff, understand where we stand, what they've done up to the point. They'll give us a report from their end and see if there's anything we can do to help you out with the situation.
We really would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, your pictures.
You can keep them, give them to your police officers. They know what to do. But those are special made for you.
Yeah, we have no use, we have no use.
I'll show you what they look like if you look at them. Good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Chief is here. Give him a chance to get us a report and let us know.
I can send you something.
Probably have it by now in your email. Okay, great. We'll have something in our emails to take a look at. Thank you. And I'll jump the time for that. Okay. I have no other public comment. I'll open it up real quick. Anybody want to address council? If not, we do. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mindy Mickle. I reached out to,
Is your Mindy?
I'm Mindy.
So Mindy is the one that we talked about. We're gonna bring it up tonight about the ice cream truck
Yeah.
that y'all are working on.
Yep.
Did you want to share that with council?
Would you like me to just wait then? I wasn't sure how it was gonna work.
No, that's fine. If
No, I
you-
can tell you, we have the city of, because what happened, the city didn't allow them
So
either.
let's just make sure everybody understands what we're talking about here. So,
That's what I wanted him to
yeah,
do.
currently, right now, ice cream trucks are not allowed in the town of Port Royal.
Correct.
But you're prepping the documents that we're gonna move forward to council.
Yeah. See, it started in 2017, Bluffton amended theirs. And then, what, about a year ago, maybe? The city of Beaufort had to amend theirs because that's where they started. And then they've reached out to us and we need to amend ours so that we can allow.
Do we have enough
them.
time to get it on next week's agenda
Yeah,
for first
yeah.
reading?
I was a little bit surprised that we couldn't have ice cream trucks in town. Never
I
thought
kind of
about
like
it.
the
We
ice
used to
cream truck
before.
because I like to hear the little
Yeah.
thing and
Right,
everybody.
right.
running
That's in the
after ice cream.
downtown area though, right?
No, it's
Anywhere.
all of
It
town.
would be all of
All
Port
of the
Royal.
town of Port Royal.
That's interesting because
We are
I
not-
remember when I moved
we are
in,
not
we had
allowed
the
to
ice cream
drive
truck
through
that used to come in my
neighborhoods.
neighborhood.
Mine
Yeah.
too.
Mine too. I mean, I bought ice cream in front of my house in
I
Port
did too.
Royal
The
with
kids
each
ran
other.
out there and grabbed it.
Right, so this was something that we realized and recently, and Van's, so if everybody's fine, we're just gonna add that to the agenda for next week.
Right.
It's not catching us by surprise, so I suppose.
And you might want to leave a little background about what y'all do with the proceeds and all
Okay,
that.
great.
Yeah.
I didn't come prepared, so forgive me.
You're fine.
I did bring 2 of my kids.
They're the ice cream testers?
They are the owners. They are the kid owners. They don't drive the bus because they're, not old enough. But my husband and I started this ice cream bus this summer. It's called Tuition Treats. It's called tuition because the money that the kids earn from this business goes to pay for their tuition and for their 2 older siblings for college tuition. They do the work. During the week, my husband runs it, and they do homework, and I do bath and bed and dinner. So you might not see them on the bus, but any other time they are on the bus. They're doing the work, they're doing the inventory, they are choosing the menus, they are making all the decisions together with us. So it's a kid-run business. Beaufort City and County, Ladies Island, all of the communities are really excited about our ice cream bus. My favorite part is seeing the little kids dancing while they're waiting for us to come up. But we are a hit with little kids and teenagers, those of them who don't think they're too cool to get ice cream. I don't know what's wrong with that, but adults are like, I'm sure that I'm your oldest customer, and I'm like, no. All the ages are really excited about it, and we've had multiple requests to come to Port Royal, and we have to tell them no. I think that you might have other trucks that are running, but we like to follow the rules, so we would like to change the rules so that we can spread smiles to your community as well.
Thank you, and I do apologize that we didn't get that. I had talked to Van.
That's fine.
About it, but thank you for being here to remind us, because that is important.
Okay.
We'll get something
Do
done.
you need anything from me in the meantime?
No, we've got the ordinance, so we're working on
Van will
the
reach out to you if he
amendments.
does.
Okay,
Yeah.
we helped with the change for
Yeah.
Beaufort City, so if it's going to be very similar to that, then we are happy with that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we just, I think they incorporated it into the ordinance that governs just food trucks in general, and modified that language. We will shoehorn it in with the stipulations that y'all drafted into where it would fit into our code.
Okay. Some ice cream. Nothing else? Thanks, everybody, for coming, and we'll see you next Wednesday evening.